Greetings, my friends. Hope everyone is healthy and following all the recommendations out there that we're all supposed to be doing to minimize our exposure as well as the exposure of others to this coronavirus. I also hope that you all are putting on your St. Patty's Day outfits. As you can see, I've got my green Guinness soccer shirt on to acknowledge the day. Wish we could all be meeting together as normal, but as you guys know, right now there's need for social limitations. And we all need to do our part in this. You know, this is not about fear, it is about wisdom. It's about obeying the laws of our land and what the leaders of our country and our state are telling us. We all need to do our part to flatten the curve of this virus. And I guess with that, I'd want to encourage especially those in our church body who are younger, because apparently most younger people have a better chance of not getting the virus. And if you do get it, you're going to be less likely to get severe symptoms. You're going to have very mild symptoms. And so the tendency for young people is just to continue doing life as normal and feel like this is, just be cavalier about it. This is not a big deal. But what you're not aware of is that you could be a carrier and therefore exposing others, and especially those in our community that are in that vulnerable category. And so if everyone is doing their part, especially younger people, we can change the curve apparently. At least that's what the medical people are telling us, and see this virus end more quickly. So we got to get really on top of it. And so that is not only affecting all of our lives in virtually every respect, but it's also affecting our church life in some very real ways. As your elders, we spent some time today going over this, we praying, and we do believe God is in this. He's allowing it. And we know historically the church has endured and gone through all kinds of things over the millennia, from plagues to persecution to wars, and the Lord has been with us. He will be with us through this. So we need to trust Him and be looking to Him. We need not be fearing, as we talked about last week. I hope all of you were able to watch the pastor's video that we sent a link out to you for last Sunday. If not, please let us know. We can get that to you, because we shared a lot of information, a lot of things that all of us can and should be doing, as well as we set out some various ways that we could be caring for one another, caring for our neighbors, as well as some of the things that we were considering and looking at doing moving ahead. In the video, you might recall that I mentioned that we were hoping to resume Sunday services this coming Sunday. However, this week there's been new things that have come out from the CDC as well as at the state level. Apparently the CDC is now asking that there be no meetings of groups of people more than 10 people. And President said this yesterday, for at least the next 15 days. We got to get radical, at least for a couple of weeks, and see where that takes us. This will be reassessed as we go. So that means, unfortunately, for the next couple of weeks, we're not going to be able to have our regular Sunday service. There's also going to need to be some limitations and new protocols for life groups and other small group meetings. We can't go on life as usual. So here's some of the things that we've been doing, what we're talking about, and just so to kind of give you a read on this. We had an elders meeting today for a number of hours. We laid out a number of options for things like live streaming a Sunday service. A lot of that depends on if we can't have more than 10 people, that's going to limit who can be there and be a part of that. But we're committed to doing that, and I think we've come up with some really legitimate ways to move forward with offering to everyone a live stream service on Sunday morning. We hope all of you will schedule to be a part of. Even though it'll be a virtual meeting, it's not our preference, but we believe God can use this during this time for our good, for His glory, And so we'll send you out information on that. We also are doing research. Jeff is doing a lot of stuff. Pete and I doing all the reading and research that we can do. And we're going to be meeting again tomorrow to kind of really formalize a really broad strategy, not just for Sundays, but also, how can we use various forms of digital media for better communication, as well as facilitating care one for another, and keeping a sense of community in the midst of this really difficult season that we're in. So we're meeting together to finalize a lot of those kinds of things. And then tomorrow night, we're having a digital Zoom meeting. Some of you might know what that is, with our elders, deacons, and life group leaders. And we're going to lay out all the stuff with them and invite their input as well, and finalize the strategies that we're going to implement over the next 2 to probably, well, at least 2 weeks. We may be able to adjust those beyond that, but we're just going to have to take it 1 week at a time and see where this thing goes. They're saying that this thing could be anywhere from weeks to months. So we need to prepare ourselves for maybe a longer season of more limited ways of meeting and out-of-the-box thinking in terms of doing life together on mission, which is still what we believe God's called us to. So we're going to get back to you very shortly, probably by the end of this week, with some of the things that come out of tomorrow and tomorrow night's meetings, so you have a good idea of where we're going, what to expect. So hopefully before the end of the week, we'll get an update on this. We're looking at various online platforms that can help us in all these things I've mentioned. We also are looking for various ways to encourage and set up good guidelines for face-to-face meetings, either in small groups, one-on-one. We're not limited from doing that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to really press in to care for one another. Jeff also spoke in our video that we sent out about various ways to give. Something that I know a lot of you are asking about and concerned about is, if we're not going to be meeting for weeks and maybe even several weeks, how do we give? And so our church is a little behind in this area of online giving. We just launched a few weeks ago our online giving option, and a lot of people really aren't even familiar with it or how to use it. A lot of churches out there have been doing this for years, and people, this is not going to affect them as much. So Jeff is working hard to streamline this process and make it even easier, possibly with just a click of a button off of our website. We'll get you right where you need to go, and you could set this up. As he mentioned, anybody that would like to, you can mail a check in. You can also contact any one of us if you need someone to come pick up an offering. We can handle that for you or help you. Or if you need someone to help you set up the online giving, you want to give that a try, but you're scared to try it yourself, we'll get somebody out there to help you set that up. Lastly, friends, this is not a time for us to be fearful, but rather to be wise. We all need to step it up and care for one another. And in particular, one of our deep concerns as your elders is for any folks in our church. It could be people in your life group or more broadly in the church body that could fall through the cracks during this time of limited public meetings and more restrictive even small group meetings. So we're going to be putting together some suggested ways and guidelines for life groups and individuals to continue fellowshipping within the boundaries that we're given and to care for one another. Please, keep an eye out for folks and let us know if you're aware. Don't assume that we're aware as elders of people that might be sick or in need or falling through the cracks, as well as keep your life group leaders informed. If we all do our part, we'll get through this. And we may even look back one day and just see the hand of God in this in some ways we did not expect. So to that end, we're praying that God will be with every one of you and with us as part of his glorious church in the earth. We'll talk soon.